All right, let's bring in now Arab-Israeli journalist Yoseph Haddad from Israel. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me. Now, you've written that Israel is facing a war on 5 fronts. Tell us about this.
Yes, of course. I mean, we've seen what's going on in the south of Israel when we're dealing with the terrorist organization ISIS Hamas. And I really hope people call Hamas as exactly what they are, ISIS Hamas. And then we have another area, which is the north, Hezbollah, and the Houthis from Yemen. And of course, we need to keep an eye on the West Bank because even there, Iran are trying to make a lot of problems. And this is what I'm talking about. Iran controlling all those areas very close to the borders, and Israel is being threatened. And the last war is for the misinformation about what's going on here. It starts from adopting the narrative of Hamas, the terrorist organization, towards misinformation about what really going on with the numbers of the civilians, of the terrorists who are dying in Gaza, and of course is what's going on within the territory of Israel. So those are the 5 wars that we are currently are facing.
Well, let's pick up on that last theme. Do you think the international media is disproportionately taking the Hamas narrative?
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, go ahead. Are you there, Yoseph?
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. I was asking you about whether the foreign press is taking the Hamas narrative, the Hamas propaganda as truth. All right, I think we have lost the audio from Yoseph Haddad, but I think that is clearly what we're starting to see. We are seeing this equivalence that the media all around the world, including in Australia, is giving to Hamas and Israel. They think there's this equal footing, this Israel says this on the one side, Hamas says this on the other side, when what we've seen is that this is propaganda coming out of a terrorist organisation. You can't give it equal weight to Israeli defence officials, to the Mossad, to the Prime Minister. Okay, let's bring you back in, Yosef. What do you think about this?
Well, the truth is that we are seeing that the world is adopting, some of the media world is adopting the narrative of Hamas. Specifically, if we are talking about BBC, we've seen that when the Islamic Jihad actually targeted Israel and one of the missiles failed and bombed the hospital in Gaza, we've seen also how fast the world adopted the numbers that Hamas gave to the world. 500 people were killed. And it's unbelievable because I don't understand how can you count 500 people within the first 10 minutes of what's going on. Here in Israel, 3 weeks after, and we're still counting bodies. And yes, we have 1,400 Israelis who were massacred by the terrorist organization ISIS Hamas, but we are still counting the bodies. And so the fact is that some of the mainstream international media news adopting that narrative so easily without even checking, it means that they are not a reliable source. It means that they are actually sharing a fake news. And this is something hurting Israelis, both Arabs and Jews in Israel, and of course Palestinian as well. Please, we have to look for the numbers. We have to look for the reality. Otherwise, we will keep spreading misinformation, which will harm all of us. And if I may add just specifically about what's going on within the Arabs in Israel, the Arab Israelis, it is very important to understand that the war is not between Arabs and Jews. The war is not between Israelis and Palestinians. The war is between Israel and between the barbaric terrorist organization ISIS Hamas. It's between the good and the bad. And you better be on the right side of the history with the good people. And the majority of the Israeli Arab society here absolutely condemn Hamas and never ever support that terrorist organization.
And that is why it is so important to hear from you, Yoseph Haddad, and I'm so grateful that you joined me tonight